In recent years, Idaho has seen an increase in cases of human trafficking. From 2021 to 2022, Idaho saw a 271% increase in human trafficking. That's according to data from Idaho's Uniform Crime Report. A 2021 National Human Trafficking Hotline report from Idaho shows that sex trafficking is the most prevalent, accounting for 78% of all trafficking cases. I can sit here and cite statistics for you all evening, but to cut through this, let me get to the bottom line. Trafficking is happening in the Treasure Valley, our community, period. And there are fierce organizations that work around the clock in our area to help those in need, working with law enforcement in the justice community, as well as other community groups to help survivors of trafficking. Groups like the Idaho Community Outreach Behavioral Services. It's an uncomfortable reality. Human trafficking happens on a daily basis right here in the Treasure Valley.
It's not an international issue with us. 90% of the women that we house are Native Idahoans. It's in our state, it's in our community, it's in our town, it's in our schools.
Paula Barthelmess is the crisis director and founder of Idaho Community Outreach Behavioral Services, or COBS. It's a group that works closely with survivors of trafficking here in the Treasure Valley.
To see them progress and to see them stumble and fall, because they all stumble and fall. We all do, right? Every single day we all have our different challenges in life, and just for the team to wrap around and love them and teach them that they are worthy and they are worth saving.
Women like Lindsay say that Paula and Idaho COBS has helped make all the difference.
She just put me under her wing, gave me shelter and food and a place to sleep, you know, and not be scared. I was homeless and had nowhere to go, and I ended up in a trap house, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't realize that I was being trafficked until I met Paula, and she explained to me what happened to me.
Lindsay, like many other trafficking survivors, didn't realize the situation she was in, a situation right here in Canyon County.
I didn't even know it was a trap house. I just, I went there because I had nowhere else to go, and it was strange, like right off the bat, like just wasn't a comfortable feeling. Like I knew something was up, but I just wasn't sure until they started asking me to do things. I realized it when they posted like a picture of me that they had me pose for, and they had a guy come to the house. That's when I realized. I couldn't reach out for help. I didn't have a phone. They took the keys to my car, so there was no way of reaching out for help.
Through a series of events, Lindsay did find help in a desperate situation.
Detective Chad Benson saved me, and then he contacted Paula, who is the head of COBS, and she gave me shelter and food. It happened in Caldwell, so yeah, right here.
Amanda was also trafficked in Canyon County. She remembers the feelings.
There's just no truthfulness, no pureness, no love. Like, she was talking about the feelings at the trap houses, and I'll never forget that feeling. Just the feeling of death, you know. I thought I was doing drugs, and, you know, I isolated for so long, and now I have this life, and I'm popular, right, for once. I wasn't a very sexual person, right? So I would be talked into things, or I would pass out. I have whole lapses of memory, you know, but I would get freaked out, you know. So that did happen. It just wasn't, I literally wasn't aware. It's weird how they can, you know, deceive you when you have those drugs.
Stories like Amanda's and Lindsay's are all too familiar for Paula. She has worked for almost a decade in the field. And over the past 2.5 years, she has created a new program and a safe house to help survivors.
Sometimes they just need love, a love that isn't sexual, a love that isn't beating, physical aggression, a love that's just unconditional. And when we talk about safe housing, it is off the grid. Law enforcement doesn't know where it's at. Probation and parole is not allowed to come over. Nobody comes over. And so for the first time in many, many of these women's lives, they are safe. No male's gonna knock on the door to rape them, have unwanted sex with them, beat them, none of that stuff. And so Idaho is really getting that. Now we're 2.5 years in, we know it works.
I slept on a bloody mattress with rats and no running water, so to go from that to a house where it was safe and I didn't have to sleep with one eye open was amazing.
And I see people that were in my daily life out there, and they're like, yeah, you were trafficked. And to be validated for the first time in my life is pretty amazing.
Do you feel like that validation helps your healing?
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like I can start having confidence in myself and what God is telling me to do. hearing other people's stories kind of makes things click and helps you heal through memories. I have a sense of sisterhood and community that I've never had.
I just want to thank both women for speaking with us here today, because sharing those stories is very difficult. So they're incredible, brave women, and I hope that came through in the story. I do want to add, though, Amanda, who you just heard from there at the end of the story, she's actually going to be working with Idaho Cops moving forward, using her story and her experiences to help other women that are now in a similar spot she was once in. Also of note, the conversation continues, and I want to tell you about this. Tomorrow, Idaho Cobbs is part of a major event at the state capitol. From 6 to 9 p.m. at the State House, there will be an extended panel discussion with major groups like the U.S. Attorney's Office, Ada County Prosecutor, the Nampa Family Justice Center. You can see the flyer on your screen right now. This is a free event, and I will link to the details to the event in the story at KTVB.com. Again, though, it's a very serious conversation that we've had here on the 208, we've had here on Channel 7. I know that across the community, there's a lot of new attention and there's a lot of interest in addressing this situation. So again, we've got resources that we'll include in this website at KTVB.com. And again, thank you to Paula and the women for sharing their story with us here on the 208.